Кто меня слышит, хлопните один раз, как в школе. Кто меня слышит, хлопните 2 раза. Кто меня слышит, видит и понимает, хлопните 3 раза. Все, класс. Конечно же, мы подходим к концу, и, как и везде, мы самый сок, самое интересное оставили в конце. Сейчас перед вами выступят еще 2 спикера, и, наверное, мы можем уже начинать с видеовизитки нашего первого спикера. Пожалуйста, внимание на экран.
Timur Onzhanov currently serves as the first deputy CEO of Astana International Financial Center, Business Connect. Before joining AIFC Business Connect, he gained extensive banking experience at Deutsche Bank. He holds a master's degree in banking finance from the University of Gallen in Switzerland. So,
бурными аплодисментами встречаем нашего первого спикера, Тимур Онзханов, сегодня с нами.
So good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. First of all, I would like to say that this is the final last sprint, and if you're okay, I would like to run my presentation in English because the official language of the Astana International Financial Center is English. I think this was a long, packed, amazing day. I think this was a fruitful day because a couple of days ago, I have never heard about the U.S. CAEF Foundation, about this initiative and about the support that the local and international investors and founders give for this project. And what I have seen today was a great thing because I think this kind of a collaboration and support from the US side, but also the local Central Asian governments and private partners gives, I think, a great boost to the development of a human capital in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan, in Kyrgyzstan, and other neighboring countries. My presentation is about Astana International Financial Center. We are a new initiative. We are based in Nur-Sultan. This is a designated territory in Nur-Sultan, in the new area, the former Expo site of the Astana International, of the Astana Left Bank. So the role of AIFC as a regional financial and investment hub. So I think the main thing what you can gain from this presentation is get an experience, get an understanding, and also it's more about awareness raising, that people, the young generation in Central Asia, in neighboring countries, get a deeper insight. And also I would like to shed more light in some areas, but also go through some key areas. Although we with Madina, we are working for a subsidiary company of the Astana International Financial Center, our ecosystem has become complex, has become a more integrated, multifaceted infrastructure with separate independent bodies and separate independent organizations. So we are a financial hub. We want to position ourselves as a regional financial hub, a regional financial center for the region, for Central Asian region, and the Eurasian Economic Union space, the other neighboring countries like China, Mongolia, but also target the countries in the southern area like the Persian Gulf. But of course there are several other financial centers in those countries based, but it's more about the international collaboration, cooperation in terms of connecting the financial centers between each other. So the main mission is to introduce new innovative financial instruments, solutions for the client base in the region, so that international investors, international firms, financial intermediaries get an understanding, and they say, okay, within Kazakhstan, you have created a hub, a platform, separate ring-fence jurisdiction with a rule of law platform that gives comfort for us to operate, to conduct business, and an investment climate that is conducive. So we would like to enter the market by opening up an office, by cooperating, going into a strategic alliance with local partners. So this is the main goal. The strategic direction, so initially, since the inception, we said we want to build a financial center by developing like core areas, core pillars, like development of a capital markets, securities markets in Kazakhstan, integrated with the international market. We said we are creating new areas, niche areas, which have not existed yet in Kazakhstan, like fintech, Islamic finance, green finance, e-commerce. So we said we would like to focus wider, a wide set of new innovative areas. But over the last 1-2 years, the new development strategy that we have built up is more about also investment attraction. So support the government, support the region in terms of FDI attraction, facilitate FDI attraction. And we said, on the one hand, we go the financial center model, and it is about international recognition, connecting with international financial centers. On the other hand, bring investments into the real sector in the region. And this is like the key KPI is actually driving investments for the next couple of years till 2025 up to 10 billion. This slide gives you a short overview of the ecosystem. As I said, initially in 2016 when we started operation, we have been as a startup, acted as a startup, like 20 people worked. I joined in September 2016 when I came back from Germany. I worked, as has already been mentioned, in Frankfurt at Deutsche Bank. And then in 2016, when I joined, only the authority existed. But as you can see, over the last 5 years, the inception of the launch of the financial center was in 2018. So we have several independent bodies. Each is responsible for a respective area, respective function. So we have like the Astana Financial Service Authority, the independent regulator. We have a court, independent judicial body, arbitration center. These are the fundamental bodies, the infrastructure bodies, which are responsible for the rule of law, for the justice system, a separate one, under English common law, for the first time in the post-Soviet space, actually. And these, below, you can see other key players. These are the players on the business side. So we have the Astana International Exchange, international stock exchange, a venue for the development of public debt and capital markets, and also for the privatization program of the Kazakh state. We have an expat service like for foreign expats in terms of government service, in terms of visa-related issues and others. We have Madina and myself, we represent Business Connect. We are like the sales arm or the front office of AIFC Business, AIFC. And we emerged from the former business development team responsible for sales attraction, for participant attraction, relationship with the residents, potential participants, and also we are very active on the investment side. The other three are the new sexy areas, the tech, fintech, formerly fintech hub, but it's the tech hub newly merged, the newly formed tech hub, responsible for development of community and promotion, development of the startups, venture capital, tech side. I think my colleague will tell more about the startup sector. And we have green financing instruments. This is also something new for the Kazakh market. I think we miss here the Islamic finance. And the last one is the Bureau for Continuous Professional Development. This is the former academy, actually. All things related to human capital development is under the responsibility of the BCPD. On this slide, you can just see some favorable benefits that our jurisdiction, or the platform provides. We have, as I said, AIFC law and jurisdiction is based on English common law, similar to common law jurisdictions and financial centers like Singapore, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, UK. We have gathered, collected and compiled the most recent regulatory legal frameworks from those jurisdictions and adapted, modified it to our jurisdiction. We have a tax exemption until 2066, so since the launch in 2018, until from the start, like in 2016, 50 years, so till 2066. So 0 rate on capital income tax, property income tax, value add tax for financial service providers or for ancillary service providers that are operating and conducting business transactions with the local residents and with AIFC bodies. But also the employees of AIFC residents get personal income tax. Also, like expats have tax exemption, tax benefits. Other things, I will not go through all other details, but something interesting, like currently we're also very active on redomiciliation. We are also trying, supporting like Kazakh foreign-based offshore jurisdiction companies to redomiciliate, to migrate from those jurisdictions to AIFC. This is something, a new initiative. We have our stock exchange is a recognized stock exchange. Just recently, I think a month ago, we became a full member of the World Federation of Exchanges. Almost for 2 years, accepted by the UK, HM Revenue and Customs as a recognized stock exchange. So we do work closely with the special economic zones within Kazakhstan. We are also one of the biggest investment drawbacks of in Kazakhstan, right, or in the regions, I think the Belt and Road Initiative, because this is a big initiative which has started, and we want to be the local office for those, because due to the fact that many Chinese banks, but also companies have registered within the financial center. The development strategy, in line with the new development strategy, as I already mentioned, there is a dual core delivery model. On the one hand, financial center development, on the other hand, investment hub. So we said these are the key projects, work streams that are formed as part of these two strategies until 2025. So one is the development of an investment hub. You can see some new projects, some mechanisms that have existed. It's about adding value in terms of some instruments. These are something new, built from scratch. So we have different teams, responsible project teams. They work within each AIFC body, within each AIFC organization. But in terms of these projects, they can work on a cross-body or cross-functional basis together on a project. We're also very active within the government because, as I said, this is the government initiative to build the financial center. And during one of my trips a couple of years ago to Abu Dhabi Global Market, which has also emerged as a financial center in 2014, 2015, the governor of the Abu Dhabi Global Market told us, we didn't launch at this time, but he told us in the meeting, the most important thing is that the government should feed this project. Without the government support, this kind of a project will not kickstart, actually. So this is an important element. We are, of course, still, we can say, we've launched 3 years ago, but with the pandemic, outbreak of the COVID pandemic, things have changed, things have slowed down, some things were put on hold. But I would say this time, or this thing has made us more focused on those things, and also to work on our homework, to do our homework in terms of research-related things, think tank-related. We said we have to work closer with the government. We have to work closer in the domestic market. We have to work closer with our neighbors, here, because we are now very active in terms of regional expansion with our neighbors like Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. Our team has recently been to Bishkek. The CEO of the AIFC authority, Yernur, has been recently with a delegation to Bishkek. And they came back and they said, oh, suddenly, unfortunately, we didn't invite anyone from AIFC Business Connect. And now we are happy that 2 weeks later we are here alone without them. So the next slides highlight more the milestones, achievements, but also gives you some bullet points in terms of an executive summary of all the numbers that we have achieved, that we provide, key facts about each AIFC body. This is the court and arbitration center. I will not go through all the details on these slides, but some interesting thing, the AIFC court system and international arbitration center is accessible for anyone. I mean, It's not only for residents, it's also for anyone who would like to reach out and discuss some international dispute resolution mechanisms to solve commercial, civil disputes. The regulator. We are a separate regulator from the Kazakh central bank, from the Kazakh financial regulator, which are based actually now in Nur-Sultan and Almaty. We regulate our financial service providers and non-financial service providers within the financial district. We have 32 legal acts developed. We provide 27 licenses in terms of financial licenses. And we adhere to all international standard setting in regulatory bodies. For example, IOSCO, the Islamic regulating body. These are the key activities of the regulator. You see policy development, registration. We do authorize, give a recognition for those companies who want just to be active, but remotely. And we also do, of course, supervision and reinforcement. The stock exchange, the main shareholders are Shanghai Stock Exchange, Silk Road Fund, NASDAQ, and also following these shareholders, Goldman Sachs also joined with a minority stake. And of course, we forgot to say that the AIFC authority is one of the stock shareholders within AX. So you can see some like recent achievements, the launch of the trade platform on Amazon Web Service. We have done some local retail client-based products, launched our own application. But the main aim was, as I said, was to provide a capital market platform, a trading infrastructure for the main portfolio holding companies of Samruk Kazina Fund, Sovereign Wealth Fund. Now we are also, we have widened our scope, introduced products in equity, debt, fixed income, but also in some alternative products. So it is about creating a marketplace, creating a securities market, and introducing to the local market those instruments that have never existed in such a manner in the local market and the regional market. So I encourage the neighboring countries also to educate, to get an understanding, to get in touch with our people in order to understand that this is a platform which you can access based out of here. Islamic Finance Hub, I think most of the countries in Central Asia are Islamic countries, so there is a growing interest for Islamic finance products, and we have our team in Islamic Finance Hub. For example, there are already 40 companies registered who are operating in the Islamic finance industry, and products, instruments that we provide, as you can see, these are the most used products traded in the Middle East, in Malaysia. So our team works very closely with the companies and the hotspots of the Islamic finance in the world. And we are very keen to develop this further because, as I said, all neighboring countries, also like in Tatarstan, in Russia, Bashkortostan, those markets are also very important markets, and I think we need to continue the relationship on the Islamic finance side. The Tech Hub was called FinTech Hub. Initially, the goal was to develop FinTech as a separate industry within AIFC, but now the scope has become, like, we have different projects, different topics, but one of the key projects for this year is the announcement of the launch of Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I've been very active on that. I've been very active since 2018 when we met the chairman of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, in Geneva, and discussed the idea a couple of years ago now. This project has realized. So we've been very active and been the pioneer in Central Asia to open an affiliate center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. There are like 4 main Fourth Industrial Revolution centers in the world: San Francisco, Japan, China, and India. And there are like up to 10, I think, affiliate centers all over the world. But this is the first one in the post-Soviet space. Yep. And I think this is a very important milestone which gives impact to the tech governance in the future. Because to review, to educate, but also to operate in the areas like AI, ML, machine learning, digital trade, Internet of Things. Green finance, there have been also some discussions today about green economy. We have also our Green Finance Center. They are active in assisting green finance projects, giving technical assistance, advising on green finance projects and green economy projects in the region, in Kazakhstan, work very closely with the local bodies. I don't have ample time, I have to accelerate, okay. This is our organization, the Business Connect. So we are the first point of contact for international investors, but also for potential residents. So what we do, we facilitate FDI attraction, as I said, so via de-risking measures. What does it mean, de-risking? The platform in itself is a de-risking mechanism. Because what we have created, the hard and soft infrastructure, is already a de-risking instrument for the country, for the platform, for the jurisdiction. The second thing is we identify, we source transactions and deals. We do matchmaking. So actually, our team is responsible to find projects in the region and to connect these projects, to introduce these projects, to package them, and to sell them to, being as an intermediate, to sell them to proper investors. So make them, the project bankable via de-risking measures like legal verification, financial verification. Some numbers for the last year with regard to the capital deployed, 461 million. So we have now like 283 projects in several sectors, in key sectors of the economy. So this slide gives you a picture of our achievements in terms of participants, some big names. So we have reached 1,000 companies within 3 years. Actually a good progress. So the main goal is to reach by 2025 2,000 companies. But it's not all about quantity, it should be about quality. So it is important to anchor key market professionals, to work with financial intermediaries who are keen to develop their operations and to enter the market in Central Asia. And we want to position ourselves as a hub, as a jurisdiction which opens the door for the region and as a gateway for those companies so that they feel the comfort. And below you can see 29 brokers. Mm-hmm. So all in all, this is from my side. I think my colleague will give you a short outline of the 2 other areas which are very important because the organizers have asked to give a more detailed overview of the human capital side and the startup side.
Thank you, Timur, very much. I personally have never heard about AIFC before, and it was very informative for me. And I would like to get to know more about the AIFC in general. So now let me quickly introduce our next speaker who will continue Timur's presentation. It is Ms. Madina Abdibayeva. She's a senior manager at Astana International Financial Center, specifically at Business Connect, where she's responsible for overseeing international projects and programs. Before starting at AIFC, she worked at well-known PricewaterhouseCoopers, Kazakhstan. It's PwC. All of us know this company. Many of us dream of this company, right? And Madina also did her master's degree in international business from the Grenoble Graduate Business School in France. So let's welcome Madina to the stage.
Good evening to everyone. It's a pleasure to be invited to such an event. I'm not the alumni of this program, but still I'm KIMEP graduate, so I'm seeing familiar faces, and it's I'm enjoying this event so much. So let's move to my topic. Today I'm presenting AIFC as a Center for Competences, Professional Development and Human Capital. As we know, the 21st century, it's a century for development, and human capital is the main driver for economic growth of any country. And according to the strategic directions for 2025 of AIFC, one of the main directions is to improve the human capital, not only of Kazakhstan, but also the Central Asian region. So that's why AIFC established a Bureau for Continuing Professional Development, BCPD. And as you see, BCPD was launched in 2017, and the main role of this organization is to develop the human capital and provide professional development program for not only the employees of AIFC in the beginning. At the beginning, it was just for the employees of the AIFC, but now BCPD has its own 5 projects or products that can offer to the market. So as you can see, there are key figures. At the moment, we have more than 6,000 professionals trained, and we have our own talent pool, which is 14,000. And our mission and vision, as already told, to develop the human capital of the region. So the next slide is about the products of BCPD. At the moment, we have fully packaged 5 products. As you can see, the first is University of Future. Here, I would not tell in details about the vision and mission and vision of each product, but I would tell very briefly about each of them. So the first is University of Future. This is actually will be familiar mostly for graduates of CAEF and all the people which are from financial sector, but because from the beginning it was offering professional qualifications such as ACCA, financial risk management, CFA, to the financial sector professionals. And at the moment, the AIFC has partnerships with many qualification center and provide services for training. And the next is Alpharabius. This product is mostly for high school and college students. The main aim of Alpharabius is providing different courses, even like training on TikTok, social SMM trainings, financial literacy. So the topics or the courses are very different. And the third one is IQ1. This is basically coding school for IT specialists, young professionals, also high school students can pass these courses. And the fourth is A-Pro. A-Pro is basically a product of AIFC, which is like a HR consulting. And we have our own reserve pool of people. Sometimes companies are searching or recruiting people from the market, and we can offer people which are trained in our center and to be employed in such companies. And the last one is the Academy of Law. As my colleague already told, this is on the English common law. So any person with legal background or from other jurisdiction can pass these courses and can improve or develop their knowledge in English common law. So here are the key figures of these products. And Alpharabius, which is very comfortable for users in our time, which is available 24 hours per day. So access to courses is online. And most of these products at the moment during COVID time are available online. And as you can see, here are the logos of partners. At the moment, BCPD has already established its contacts with many international organizations and is planning in the future also to expand the partnerships. And future plans of BCPD for 2025, it's according to the Digital Kazakhstan Development Program, we want to develop our IT sphere in Kazakhstan, and in the future there will be courses in artificial intelligence, data engineering, also cybersecurity, which are popular in our time. And then we plan to make collaborative educational programs with leading universities, not only from Kazakhstan, but also international universities, and to train 3,000 ICT specialists also in IT sphere. So here are the contacts. Further, I will move on to the next presentation, which is on the startup ecosystem of Kazakhstan. So now I will present about the startup ecosystem of Kazakhstan. Actually, there was a study held during the pandemic time, just started in March of 2020 till the May of 2021, where there were respondents from the owners of the startups in Kazakhstan, and I will present the results of this research study. So sample size of this study covers 108 respondents, startups, and actually it was intended to cover the whole Kazakhstan, but mostly as the startups are based in Nur-Sultan and Almaty, mainly covers only 2 cities. So the next. The study covers 6 main pillars, which are startups and market, infrastructure and support, HR issues, capital, government and corporations, support from government, and how COVID-19 impacted the startup ecosystem in Kazakhstan. Also, the next graph shows us which sectors or the main verticals of Kazakhstani startups. So as you can see, the major sector is e-commerce and marketplace, then it's edtech, then it's financial tech, and health and medical medtech and agriculture and food tech are the minor ones. Here you can see that at the moment, startup ecosystem of Kazakhstan market value is at the moment $100 million, and there are the major players. So it's government bodies, as you can see, Ministry of Innovation, ZERDE, which is also a state organization. We have facilitators here, also AIFC Tech Hub, as my colleague mentioned already, Astana Hub, Tech Garden Cluster, which are also accelerators, facilitators of the startup ecosystem. And science and teaching, these are the main universities, which have also, you can see here, BCPD AFC, which offers coding school or courses in IT sphere. Also events and networking. Also, I want to mention here Astana Finance Days, because Astana Finance Days also covers topics of digital Kazakhstan. Then the first pillar is about market, startup market. You can see from the first graph that number of startups have increased. It was increasing gradually till 2016, and in 2016 there was a huge increase. So the number reached it was sharp increase, I would say. And at the moment, target market or geography is mostly Kazakhstan or CIS region, and mostly startups are not planning to expand internationally. If only 7% of them are planning to expand to USA and Southeast Asia, but usually they have priority to be based in Kazakhstan, and most of the startups at the growth stage, and they're not ready for expanding internationally. As you can see, I already told the priorities of the next 12 months. So mostly they're focused on growing sales. Also, here we can see the institutions for teaching. And as I already mentioned, we have, at the moment in Kazakhstan, there are so many educational institutions which provide opportunities for students to develop IT skills, software engineering, education, and so on. So the next pillar is infrastructure and support. At the moment, these are the institutions which held in the past some events. You can see also FinTech from Astana, International Financial Center, and we have a big event, annual event, Digital Almaty, which support IT system of the Kazakhstan. And about the workspaces, we had previously speakers about the co-working space. Basically, according to the respondents' answers, we can say that mostly IT specialists prefer, or startup firms prefer working from home, because they think that co-working spaces are not, they are costly, so it's better for them to stay home and work from home. And only, as you can see, that I think it's 9% prefer to work from the offices. Also, about the opinion about the mentorship opportunities, mostly startups think that most of them, sometimes they don't know about the mentorship opportunities in the country, and if they even present, most of them think that it's not so efficient. Here are the main HR issues. Key facts about startup founders. Mostly the average age of startup founders is 31, and there is no gender balance. As you can see, only 7.5% are female, so there is a room for improvement in this sphere, because as you can see, there is a female empowerment. There is a lack of female empowerment in the sector. And what about the university majors? Mostly founders are from have technical backgrounds, computer science, technical engineering, and only minor of the respondents have business background or economics. And there is, as you know, as in Kyrgyzstan, before some of the speakers told that there is a lack of technical specialists in Kazakhstan also. So mostly when there is a lack of specialists, they prefer hiring specialists from Ukraine or Russia. And here are the top HR issues faced by startups. So it's payroll. Also, sometimes, according to the answers of the respondents, it's difficult to pay salary, because mostly startup projects at the growth phase don't have ability to pay payroll, and these are the main difficulties faced by the startups. So the next pillar is about the capital, amount of financing startups seek, and mostly the amount varies between $10,000 and $50,000, and they equity to give up for investment. Mostly they are ready to give 20% of their equity to the investors, but it also depends on the stage of the startup also. If it's in the growth stage, of course, the percentage they're ready to give as an equity is lower. Here again, these are the institutions for funding and capital. Actually, we have here state institutions, for example, DAMU, and also here mostly the private company, venture capital fund also, and many other, like Sizirde, also state company, Nuris, which is based on the Nazarbayev University in Astana. So different institutions at the moment, we can see that who are ready to fund startups. Here the next pillar is government and corporation support, and according to the answers of the 108 respondents, mostly they do not feel that there is sufficient support from the government. Some of them even don't know what are the options, or they think that there is no enough promotion. And what about the corporations? Corporations are not so engaged as government, so the support from corporations is even lower from the government. And here is the last pillar and last slide on the ecosystem, startup ecosystem development. During how COVID or COVID-19 impacted the ecosystem of startups in Kazakhstan. So during the COVID, some of the startups, 15% were permanently closed. And the main issue was financial issues, the lack of finance. But some spheres like fintech, edtech, and e-commerce even benefited because, as you know, that there was increased demand for online courses and e-commerce, so people were buying online during the COVID time. So we can say that it's like not so bad effect from the COVID-19 because IT system is an online system, as you can see. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madina and Timur, for such an intensive and informative presentation. So we will combine both speakers' sessions into one Q&A. So if you have questions from the audience, if you have questions, please raise your hand. And, oh, okay, I see hands in the last table in the corner. Yes.
Thank you for your very informative presentation. I have a regarding the regulatory framework. Basically, I understand there is National Bank of Kazakhstan, which regulates the financial market, and there is AIFC, which also regulates market for fintechs as well. Or is it? Do they have some overlaps? If so, how are you planning to work them out? And who is eventually, where should the fintech companies be reporting to if they're also involved in financial or insurance and other sectors connected with financial sector? That's the question one. And another question is, how do you plan to involve the rest of the Central Asia into the market of AIFC? How do you want to incentivize other companies to be joining this platform?
Thank you. So first of all, with regard to fintech, so any company that would like a financial service that provides financial services can set up its operations within AIFC, which is separate to the local domestic Kazakh market. The regulator within AIFC, Astana Financial Service Authority, regulates, provides licenses, authorizes those firms, be it financial firms that go through an authorization process and acquires a license, or just registers a non-financial company, a private company. And within the fintech hub, we have a sandbox regulatory regime. So for those companies who would like to try, be it startups, so we have Astana IT hub within the whole district, which is a separate body, which does not belong to the AIFC, but works as a sister company actually, and the fintech hub. So these are like the two main bodies that you can approach in order to set up a fintech firm. And National Bank, the central bank, has nothing to do with the regulator of the AIFC. So those companies who would like to operate cross-border, on a cross-border market, who would like to get a license within AIFC under English common law, a regulatory framework which was created to cover the whole overseas market, the local market, but its operations and transactions within AIFC can do it, which is separate. With regard to the second question, can you please recall the second question quickly? The second question?
The second question is, how are you planning to...
the regional expansion. So in the initial years, from 2016 till 2018, until the launch, we did a tremendous job in terms of getting know-how and exchange with other financial centers globally, like with overseas markets, to learn and transfer exchange, but also to build a network. And we did not do a great job in terms of a regional expansion with our neighbors, because these are the markets where the firms who are based and expand to the AIFC can provide their services. So on the one hand, there is an inbound market, and on the other hand, there is an outbound market. So the main goal in terms of regional expansion, how do we want to incentivize? I think we build a hub model. We are a gateway, a market access, which works vice versa. So the Central Asian companies can operate out of AIFC and build a foundation for a strong legal infrastructure, a framework. So by setting up your firm within AIFC, you get the benefits and you get access to the international market, because this is actually an epicenter for those firms, a center of excellence for those firms who operate in this market. And you get a quicker access to the international market because we are already well connected with global financial hubs and other like epicenters for fintech, for other like Islamic finance. So this is a huge benefit. There are also other benefits like the tax exemptions, regulatory framework, legal framework. And I think we are now on the next level. We want to closely work with the regional countries in Central Asia because, of course, each of the country has its own regulatory regime, has its own market, home market, and there might be a competition and a cooperation. So there is a word, I think, where you mix them both. It's a fusion of cooperation and competition, and it's our job to harmonize because the Central Asian markets are very fragmented, and we need to harmonize them. We need to work among the financial centers, among the markets, and through such collaborations and networking sessions, through such introductory meetings, B2B meetings, sessions, we need to strengthen and deepen the relationship with those markets. And I think as you are all members of the future and current business community, financial community, we are the ones who will continue this long path. And I think it is exciting to see the development, and I encourage that markets will work closer. And it is all, as I said initially, raising awareness and providing a tool, an instrument, a platform for the whole market.
Thank you very much. We had one question from the same table. Two people raised their hands at the same time, so I will take that question, and then two questions from one question from Dushanbe and one question from Almaty.
Да. Ну, если не возражаете, я задам вопрос на русском. Спасибо, Тимур, Мадина, за презентацию. У меня такой вопрос касательно вот приложения Табас. Ну, я думал отдельно подойти во время гала-ужина, но мне кажется, всем интересно будет. Просто мне интересно, когда там, например, счет открывается через это приложение, там Custody Bank — это зарубежный банк, да, то есть через это приложение напрямую на зарубежной платформе, да, торгуешь?
Я вот не владею этими данными касательно вот какой Custody Bank, но я думаю, это банки, которые аккредитованы на площадке МФЦ, или локальные банки, с которыми они кооперируют. Это вот, я знаю, что на X Custody Bank это вот Raiffeisen, Citibank, также и казахстанские банки, которые имеют и офис в Астане, в Алмате, а также на площадке МФЦ зарегистрированы. Вот.
Понял. Хорошо, спасибо.
Ну, более детально могу у коллег биржи уточнить. Я конкретную информацию полную дадут касательно Custody Bank.
Okay. Thank you. Question from Dushanbe.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. So thank you first of all for your presentation. And in your presentation, you mentioned that AIC, or Astana International Financial Center, is a permanent collegial body chaired by the president. So I wanted to ask, like, what privileges or limitations it has in terms of being chaired and kind of governed maybe by the bodies or government bodies.
The financial center was created by the decree of the president, And the management council, it is a council, it's one of the supreme governing bodies, which consists not only the top government officials or the president, but also there are, I think, 6 or 7 international top managers of international firms like Citibank, Sberbank, we have JP Morgan. So there is a international governing board of directors, management council members, not only the Kazakh government side. So we have this is a management body, because this is, as I said, this is a government-created project, initiative, a large-scale initiative for the region, and the management body, as a council, does not only have Kazakh representatives. So we have 6 or 7 international representatives out of from different countries, from different institutions and different levels, but they're all top management levels.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And one more question from Almaty. Do we have the person
Good evening.
who wants to ask a question? Yes.
My name is Ayday. I'm KIMEP graduate 2018. So my question is related more to building careers at your organization based on the title, since it's Astana International Finance Center. Are there any career paths that are non-financial available at your organization, and if there are any, what are they, and how do you recruit people from other sectors and from other companies? Thank you.
I think BCPD is the main first point of contact for recruiting. Of course, we have within the authority an HR body, but the BCPD works very closely with the main authority body, the main infrastructure body. But within BCPD, most of the recruitments come from BCPD, which is the Bureau for Continuous Professional Development, and they provide several courses. I think Madina has already provided a short overview of the activities and services that BCPD offers.
As I already mentioned before or told, we have our own reserve pool. So in the case when, I don't know whether you're talking about the career opportunities in AIFC or in Kazakhstan market. If we are talking about Kazakhstan market, sometimes some companies, we serve as a recruitment office or HR consulting. Sometimes they can ask for people that are specialists in some sphere, and we can offer, we have our own reserve of professionals, and we can offer depending on the request from the companies. So we have like a base of professionals in the market in Kazakhstan, but not only from Kazakhstan, also from the region. So if you have a willingness to apply to our market, to Kazakhstan market, so you can approach BCPD.
Just as a quick add-on, you asked non-financial. So we also, within our marketplace, we have also I think back-end positions for non-financial professionals as well. It's not only like for finance backgrounds and economics. So legal, we have like areas like properties, administration. We have different kind of needs.
So we have 9 directions or 9 in the ecosystem. There are 9 organizations. So even legal department, Islamic finance. So there is no need to have a special background, so it depends on different departments.
Thank you very much.
Is that all?
Let's call it a day.
Thank you. And we'll go on.
Уважаемые наши гости, я, конечно, вижу, что вы хотите еще сидеть, я вижу, что вы хотите еще позадавать вопросы, но, увы, мы должны заканчивать, потому что, есть программа. И сейчас я хочу сказать, Казахстан, Душанбе, если вы все еще с нами, спасибо вам большое за участие, за сегодняшний день. Мы все прощаемся с вами. Давайте все вместе крикнем «Пока-пока». Астана, простите. Алмата, Душанбе. Увидимся завтра в том же месте, в то же время. А сейчас вы можете уже отключаться.